comes to losing weight, everybody has a secret. Everyone has a secret formula. Social media is crazy. I've been talking about nutrition for so long, and today we have Dr. Ayesi Edo. She will tell us everything we need to know about why it's important to have an optimal body weight range, regardless of your age. We'll meet a little boy, Elisha. He drank washing soda, and now he must eat through a tube. And that is distressing for his parents. Ifya is back fitness, so don't go anywhere. And I, Frema, will tell you why, when it comes to onions, is worth the tears in jewels in our kitchen. This show is brought to you by Vodafone.
So that mom can be able to open the door. This is it.
Listen to the door.
Here's my little brother doing something special. He's setting the camera up with another bright idea.
Let's just open the door.
Yay!
Mom, I got it.
Now you can be part of the extraordinary world of endless possibilities on Vodafone. With the best value and amazing data offers and services available in Ghana, your dreams are achievable. Get more for less with Vodafone data. Vodafone, further together.
Later on in this episode, Dr. KK will be telling us the amazing technology behind 3D printing and bioprinting. I wonder what that is. Funie. No comment.
That's no comment.
No comment.
Madam Fubino.
There be no comment.
But why are you laughing?
You know what's funny?
Abba, why are you laughing?
You know what I saw that I just said a funie. Apart from the food, right? The fact they had the salt shaker and the Coke at the same time, just
Because
shaking
you
at
people say taking salt and Coke
But that's not
resolves
how.
a running stomach.
No, that's not how I was taught. I've done it before. You know me, I'll tell you.
Actually, me too.
And it resolves the running
Yes,
stomach.
it
So
is.
what you're saying by resolving the running stomach is that, like when you take the salt and the Coke,
Not
the
like
running
that.
stomach,
Not like that.
that's how the person. Okay, let's not go into. But you're saying that when you take it, it stops.
It did ease. Let's just put that. It slowed down the frequency of the stools I was passing.
I don't think so.
And over, it was comfortable because you're in a place that you can't afford to be going every 5 minutes, man.
I don't think so.
It did.
You know, because salt and Coke, pathophysiology, pharmacodynamics,
I want to wear that.
pharmacology,
But
mentality.
you know, so white way.
No.
Professor
Today I forgot
Neya.
it. There's nothing to explain how the salt and the Coke will stop the running stomach
Didn't. Okay, well.
or resolve the running stomach. You can't explain that. If you can explain that to me,
So
I'm ready to
shall
learn.
I propose some small theory?
Okay,
Please do.
Please do.
All right. So most of the time people get diarrhea. Commonly it's after a small viral infection. Sometimes it could be bacterial. Sometimes it's just a reactionary something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, there's some excess release of salt and fluids. Either because if there's an infection, it's producing some toxins that are stimulating all that salt and water loss. But the catchphrase here is that a lot of diarrheas are self-limiting.
Thank you.
Thank
Are
Are you trying to say you should have found a time that it was limiting
it was
itself?
gonna stop anyways.
However,
We're thinking. You see, she just because she said she has done it before, she has to explain. But she knows that the thing, no, you know the catch.
Moneyland.
Okay, you land. I will not.
saying your diarrhea or when you're running like that, you're losing a lot of these salts and water that
Yes.
we're talking about. predominantly sodium chloride, potassium, among others. And you get a lot of sodium chloride. Like really, it is salt. So maybe, if I can propose, it will not stop the diarrhea, but it will help to rehydrate you and keep your blood hemodynamics stable, your blood pressures.
Now, am I ready to just pounce on her? But see, I can correct truth, gospel truth.
But having said that, miraculously somehow,
yes,
you have to sell medicine in the bus because the way you're trying to convince me that.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, please do.
I know that this is not a cure of diarrhea, but what is in ORS?
So, just like Abba said, you see, knowing the pathophysiology, disease, you're losing all the fluids and all of that. In ORS, you have it's often oral rehydration salt. So you're replacing it. So the sugar, the coke, and the salt, all replacing. And it's a very good home remedy. Let's not even go there. But to say that I've started running, so I'm going to take coke.
And even add tea bread to it.
The tea bread one, that one too is possible. Because you know when you take a lot of tea bread, you can become constipated. You know that, right? So you can understand how, but it's not immediate. Like when you take loperamide, it has a way to stop your guts from moving. So when it stops the gut from moving, you say that it has resolved the diarrhea. Other than that, your stoppage is what Abba was saying. Self-limiting.
If you stop the gut from moving and there's a toxin still in the gut,
it will become worse.
Thank you.
So the coke and the diarrhea does not resolve the diarrhea. It helps with rehydration.
Which in turn,
as a self-limiting process, resolves by itself.
Science and now English and
equations. What I'm trying to say is that maybe the word of curing is too strong.
Thank you.
But
it's helpful.
Imagine that you know that diarrhea is self-limiting. Ebejai. As you say, my fancy is bad. So
Obejai.
Forget Mamkachi. Ebejai. No, I'm saying, it's Ebejai. But by the time Ebejai, you sooner as in one who I am.
Thank you.
It's so baby na ushana sister or as in men. Coco bell, inch knee bell. Mediane say, come by nepeti bed one.
I totally agree.
No one go anymore.
I totally agree.
Dear, you found this
I totally agree. Coke
wait, let me laugh.
It's a good idea. But no more being can't say, but small catch the coke and salt. Or resolve the
when you need to make us
catch him.
Sweetheart, if you're afraid to I just remembered.
You see, that story, everyone has their own story.
So allow us, this myth, allow us to enjoy it.
Okay.
But it won't harm you.
Yes, it won't harm you.
Go to my ear.
Do it. Take the salt, take the coke, do it. Or do ORS, or do coconut juice, or do a lot of water, or do Don Simon. Or do Fanta.
No.
Okay, no. Fluids. Not Don Simon. Fluids.
Yes, I'm coming to pounds on you.
Do fluids. You do a lot of fluids.
But don't do fruit.
The ones that's I've pulled the Don Simon back.
Thank you.
I've pulled that. Don't go and do normal food juice too. That one too. So just get there's a lot of fluids for you so that you get better. It doesn't resolve it.
Yes.
It helps with rehydration.
So that by the time the body resolves it, you are still strong.
Dry.
You are not dry and sickly, and it's not necessary. Got it.
Okay, let me relax now.
Maka and Fifi Bonnie be a mete. Talk about Fifi Bonnie actually. Elisha, Afavi, the parents have been going around selling his condition. So now, Chifonia can say, "Uton wedru, uton yaria, na nyan wedru." They've been doing that, but to no avail.
Nikonya fam kokura.
Nikonya nana.
Anya vinyenye Elisha.
Bona vie onyi. Afavi Elijah. No via any afavi Elisha. Any ameno no le doa.
Emi le fia ka emi don yo le school ayo chogbono a. Na pe na ba joreji. Okuch amela adi won e jola dia gbo de yo to school gbo ba do ma chikolo.
Ame asoku soda ka dare akpatam vo monya be soda e banyu.
Wa memele no akọ. De ya do ma chikolo e bo kuchia tono.
Na nu ya. E jo janyi no via da kafu du va yo mi.
Bo ba gbo na be no vi no achichi. Bo achi na no a sola anyi. E va do afọ me a we to de cho koji.
Epo mi pe mi ko mi do sunjani a. Mi no fi ma mi hoji no mo vo. Owe yo meti ya we mi na twa mi na ka ide ji. Eji mo le mo lo khona mo toji bo no pe na tinye mo cha fo mo kokon o aka gbede mi mo lo podo ntopon
Unsen baba la sinyo. Nya kwimi ju wa chikwafa.
Emi kwan jo ba kwita na ibo do mo no cha o hwadita ngba te dunanu ba kunu a mo tune kan e mo chora ma la si gbe abi to gbo na e mo cho don ni e mo cho to na chi mo cho to na chi wi a mo e yina do mo ne zogbon ton blanc e bo ndudu awe ma ngba te duna fufu mo te duna akun mechon
Vinya Elisha da kanya kwimi la chandoa agbe na mo kpo anya ngba te dunanu. Na nya ntokura mo lolo mo yiwa mo va de koto jinya tan kota na ngba ba lo kwinye mo.
Kasia gamo ya viji ko mo le mi mo gbaduna nu na mi le nu dun to nu mo pa vo na mo po vinya na vinya cho nu cho la pa to mo to anyi na afi fafa ga na nu mo te nu na nu je na do mo nu mo nya na popo nu be mi o kan mi la fe mo vo de via ya kanu anyi be chiu ma ha to cha pe akode do mo na do ga do mo kura no vi o kura tete ya o mo te dunanu na mi le ndu ka no va trokpo e wo no via o cho mo te dunanu mi o ke mi do na bi ha ndu an gbe po mi be ko ni afabi la sia de ke le do cha mo ji ne mo po ya do na jijo mu vo e ba no achike ya le ke ne va le do a ne mo po ya o na mbla inu ona gasia game ya afaji po mo no na to je pe mi nta wa ba po ga kaka a wo nu ya na vinya mo cha mi yi de kumasi afio mi afido mi yi na mi du afido kro na mi de wo ma to po ogun be mi ne cho wo ma mi jo na ka mi gbajo gbon mi cha na ka mi mo po na 1000
No vinya be yo bo doctor yo e be Vodafone to be wa pere nyanchi o ma wo gbedudura opo be Vodafone ma mo gan over
e mo se be Vodafone to gbon be yo wa pere nchi ni ya da doro de via nu wa ojijon
o to akpo na lo ma wo mo
Vodafone to no te pere nchi no no po de via gbon no odo ne no ma te dun to nu mo ba ni be Vodafone to we welo
You know, your fear na uchichi baby akwala no hwe o mo hwe din baby ade sieje no na oni no akwa kofa akwala bi ososo e bi na wo de sia ma ohu da nti ohu ye no fi say drink nti mu de mfa na yen practice yen fa nchi akwala nsa memfa nsa nka we na fa sieje ana say which is which because the boy was thirsty. And it's possible that the container, you know, soda on the local market is sold in, you know, they tie it in these little rubbers. So the mothers buy it. Most of them would dissolve it into something and put it down.
Pour it into sometimes
most
they'll
of
pour it into a Voltic bottle.
Yes.
Sometimes they'll pour it into like a disposable container
that children associate with water.
Soft drinks for offending.
And soft drinks.
Soft drink bottles. You see, it pour it into something that the child is familiar with for a pleasant feel. If you put this into like a soda bottle or a fruit juice bottle, then the child associates that bottle with that good feeling. So when they need it, they're going to go to that bottle. You know, so a few things to do is not to put it in bottles that have are for like edible things. Okay, don't put it where the child can reach. That is quite obvious. But even if it's where the child can reach, if the child opens this thing and doesn't look like a bottle that the child gets something nice from, they're going to either smear it on them. When the child takes pomade, they smear it all over themselves.
They pour it. they smell it.
You know, so that is one thing that we could do, to not put it in things that the child associates with eating.
Food, okay.
You
or
know,
drinking.
That's one thing. Or drinking. Just put it high up. You know, this is some of things we could do to avoid some of these things. And even if it's possible, where it is, lock it. You know, you say you've put it in the cupboard, but the cupboard is not locked. So the child goes, opens it, and then takes it. When you lock it, the child can never have access to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is very important, because when you ingest something as corrosive as bleach or kerosene or petrol or any of those things that we keep in our homes for little purposes without actually thinking about the repercussions, it becomes quite severe. These things are corrosive. They go down your mouth, down your esophagus, down to your stomach, and they can actually corrode, or they what I want a simple word to use in your I don't none line in the so you get an abrasive lesion in the lining of wherever it is that this
all the place.
And when it does that, no, so it'll form a scar tissue or be trying to be what say a quan on supia trying to me a quan no sim to go to baby nechi as a man to munko because a quan is you on an oze in supi ban into the baby na is bandits are no archetype uncle now financial or fit no refund another. So those are the long-term complications, and that will lead to surgeries and more nutrition and a whole host of other organ involvement. These corrosive substances can be absorbed into the rest of the body through the gut and affect other organs, affect the kidney, the liver. It can be really, really nasty. But in the acute phase too, sometimes when these children drink these things, the tendency is to want to make the child vomit it out quickly. So people put their fingers down their throat and give palm oil, blah, blah, blah.
Does it help?
So these things are problematic, because if you induce vomiting in a person who's drunk a corrosive agent, this thing is now going to possibly go down the airway. So a bit trauma. Now could be
double trouble.
So now it won't just affect the food passage, it should affect the breathing passage as well. Go down into the lungs and cause what we call a pneumonitis. It could be chemical pneumonitis. It could be secondarily infected. Basically, they'll get some kind of pneumonia, infection, lung disease. And see, I think that generally it's, first of all, be safe. These things must be kept as safely as Kiki already described. And when somebody accidentally ingests it, really don't try to induce vomiting.
Just rush them to the nearest.
Take them to the nearest hospital. There are things that can be used where you drink it and then these chemicals can get absorbed onto it, so that it doesn't get absorbed into the system. So there are ways that these things can be done, but definitely don't induce vomiting.
I mean, if you look at this child now, if you look at what he's going through now, you see, now it's Bambi and Faninu. It's ban or the way, or the purine, or the way, one yam right on
very,
that's
very
all
smooth.
that he can be having.
Yes.
And it has to go through the tube now. Why? Oh, this is so nothing is really going down. So they have to go through the strictly to give nutritional food.
Yes.
Now, imagine the care that comes with this. This is, I mean, even if you have a child that you have to feed by mouth. I mean, I like the way the went. It was a bilateral. You can only imagine how difficult it is that when you feel like this child is outgrowing that intense care, you still have to always be on the lookout, always, be feeding the child. So it comes with a lot of consequence. And I think the first thing is the prevention. Prevention. Let's do our best to prevent such problems. And if it happens, do not induce vomiting. If there's anything you want to do in such a situation of poisoning, is to drink water. What you do, the water does is that the water dilutes whatever you've taken in till you get help. So that is what you can do. So it's sad, and then I'm hopeful that in the final analysis he'll be able to get a certain amount of decent functioning, and then his family, himself, will be able to live a somewhat
normal life, because actually cleaning the area, making sure it's clean, and change the tubes and checking for blockage and fasting. And fine. We'll be right back.
So that mom can be able to open the door.
This is it.
Missed on the door.
Here's my little brother doing something special. He's setting the camera up with another bright idea.
Let's just open the door.
Yay!
Mom, I got it.
Afedie, musu betumi nya kwanya sronko a ye nije ye power Vodafone so. Ye di data bundles a eni seso Ghana ha brel. Ye ma da ye so, ye ni da so nyina bem. Enti beka ye ho, nya data mo ni je power bebre.
Vodafone, further together.
By any pedriana, obia on the formula. Everybody and what they think you should look like, how you should look like it, how you should go about looking that way. Is it even healthy for you? Osuna pesetin. Ayama wana, ane di arbe bro. Anase so ekesi mum. Adam, Mary show to na for nka se so ekesi e bi na you okay o. Unjimindi with the train. Doctor Ayisiwa ha. Obetrain asie. Ama ye hu say anyway na obehwe hu say ebia wo de e say wo de na ekosro and ekofom and say hu obi to say doc, welcome.
Thank you, Fima. It's good to be back.
It's good to see you.
Yes.
Doc, please, when it comes to our body weight, people think these days is more pills than food. And when you mention nutrition, people get confused. So I want to start from the basics, kakra. Let's build the knowledge. Kakra na fe no yenko into sa obi fi say ne to form, but as all kese no ye nyoma bi ankofo ye just to look a certain way for this current trend that we are facing. So from the basics, what is nutrition? Anna, why is it important? And is it actually linked to what I'm talking about?
Thank you, Fima. So nutrition simply deals with the nutrients and the energy in the foods that we eat, and how the body deals with these foods, and also the impact of these nutrients on health and also disease. That is simply nutrition.
But why is it important though?
Yes, it is very important because it's one of the key determinants of health, and we all want to be healthy. So nutrition provides the energy for us to lead an active life. It promotes growth both physically and mentally. Yes, nutrition does a lot for us in terms of our immunity also, our immune response. Nutrition plays a key role. Nutrition also plays a role in our body weight, achievement of a healthy body weight, which is the key topic for this discussion. But also, I would say that almost like 80% of all cases of diabetes, hypertension, can all be prevented through healthy diets. That tells you that nutrition is very important. Through healthy diets, but also adding physical activity and a healthy lifestyle. Also, 40% of all cases of cancers can also be prevented in this very similar way of using diets, healthy diets, and physical activity.
So looking at this, the kind of trends happening these days, social media, it's bombarding our brains with what is the perfect body. Especially in man, it's becoming really, really scary. Someone would say that, I think I'm fine. I just need a bit more bum. Someone would say, I need a bit more boobs. Someone would say, it's just my tummy that's worrying me. They think that having an optimal weight or look, let's use that word for lack of better word, no, is dependent on just spots. Someone says just my arms, me nine pair, me strap, you know those things.
Yeah.
Is that really it, or there's actually an optimal? When you say optimal, is that like ideal body weight that every individual must have? And I say, is it also families or communities?
Yeah, so that ideal body weight will be a range.
Okay.
Okay, so it will not be one specific weight for one person, but it's that weight for a given height that is associated with, you know, good health and its maintenance.
Okay.
It's also associated with a high level of life expectancy.
Okay.
All other things being equal.
Okay.
That is the optimal body weight. And so we know that people who are obese, when we talk about immunity, the immunity is compromised a bit. There's a low grade of inflammation which tends to compromise our immunity.
To be our brain, the immune system no strong.
Okay. So na obi a so or too light, underweight. Also the immune system is compromised a bit.
Doc, if I understand you, let me say it in tree me here, say me process here dey with tree mo. Say nipa da se ne wo we. Enye weight back say. And a chair say the bia sana weight say by range. If be a free A na call D, would any A to D, obi dey D to F. Obi ane ne de. Anyakopon de man. Ejina how taller? I know tree no cramba. O tintin
sanet.
Ah, ejina se na o tintin sanet anyakopon de acha unto to me nka say wonu obi a kokroa ofie o ye the same weight nti unso. Ente sa. Ha. Ana ejina yare a ewo wo so ene nyoma ekoso wo environment na doctor to say doctor yisi adomu nyina behwe ometumi hu say bia ideal range no say and I say into means now them for example enka say me the minimum ideal weight range into minimum say and say me and doc ente sa.
It is happening. So there's an objective way of assessing whether your weight is right for your height. It starts right from a newborn baby who has been born. So right from birth up to about 2 years, we are using the weight for length percentiles into your growth chart. So we can classify you as either normal weight, and according to the WHO growth charts, between 2% to 98%, you as normal weight. Okay. Then we can see you as underweight or overweight. Underweight, let's just say, maybe your weight for your height, no? Weight no swap for your height. So we call such a child wasted. Enough. But enough.
And they are underweight, no.
And we are wasted child.
Child. No.
But it's reflected in underweight. You can't underweight for children, babies up to 2 now. Either say or you're wasted and now or you're stunted. Not just a stunted, no, ne tintin no for the age, no, and so. Or you're tietia for the age. And now say 2 ni na wo. So be underweight. Abofra or you're underweight. No. Either say or you're stunted or you're wasted. Inti and now say both.
Wow.
Nti bia ye hwe ne weight for the length na oswa chain sene ne tintin nke so ye kese kakaba ntisa e na sene ne age edu no so eno ne stantin no o ye tietia do nke se ne motwe ana se sa mienu ni nyina wo ho nti ono ye tietia ono so a ne muduro no so ndu ba bia esese wo nti eno wo ho
impanyifo so to me experiences ade ya na koso kan kwala yi
nti free abofra 2 years edi ko 20 no eno ye the BMI for age etimi hwe
okay
eno so ye be categorize as underweight, overweight, or normal weight using the growth charts na 2% to 98%. But in penyinfo no ye use BMI ne pe body mass index. I assess your weight in kilograms over your height squared in meters. Okay. Nti e ho no say your grades be 18.5 to 24.9. You better say nipa na normal weight. If you SAS score no calculation na you SAS. Say we are less than 18.5, I say we are underweight. And 25 to 29.9, you better say we are overweight. Obese person from 30 up. But 30 up you will more graduations, 30 to 35, 35 to 40, and then above 40 you're morbidly obese. Now ye hwe sa BMI no so na ye hwe waist circumference so
Sisi.
Usisi say na mobile sifati say no kodos bebre mbema say bro 40 inches and oba so bro 35 inches increase your risk for disease. Already BMI na increase your risk.
But you see no. Yes, slow down nebo measurement ni bio.
Okay.
Cause then the MC calculation bi an share than you was and you need to make a tape measure. Oh, ni tape measure ko seamstress ko tailor. No so waist. Na check is obema dey no do
40 inches. Say bro sa.
Anya centimeters
bro 40
inches.
And oba so 35 inches.
And so come more than that. And found age away. As long as you're above 20 years.
Yes, adults. This is for adults. Yes.
Yeah, na no nyina ka ho. Almost so to me you
to a large extent
40 35 no sir.
To a large extent, but as we age also we lose muscles, a lot of things happen, so it might not be the right indicator.
Okay, so mo dey different kakra.
Yes.
But yen numra ye sisi sui. Yes. Okay. Doc, when na doc a na my hu say untina wo dem nya calculation except waist dey na dey out me check o. Apart from that no. Then the bema obi because you need say awufu bia beka so person ba so betty, you know. So what causes the underweight and now overweight and even obese so be kese abroso and I say obi entumi nya kese because we was my family dro sa me ntumi nya kese obi so say why diet e ko ba nyina ma who exercise and crop for your parents so still what really causes it?
Okay, first of all, your genes estimate determine weight, the extent to which obey KCSIAFA.
You to me the
genes for obesity, for instance.
Okay.
Say wow for bako. One parent obese. There's the 30% chance of being obese. Say abofra obewono. Then if both are obese parents now, there's a 90% chance. Inti kakranam. Moja muba.
Okay.
But having said that, no, you can say genes predisposes you to either underweight, obesity, but your environment, any physical activity in your man so to a large extent, so ebe modify near genes no can anti makasa na underweight no. So obi in the generally, of course, also better.
Okay,
inti no na mom to say about time pregnant before even pregnancy and during pregnancy and after pregnancy what that mother is eating is important. So when the year ne ba na obewo no so no etime ye kete inti no wo na afi it's about also breastfeeding. Do you exclusively breastfeed for that first 6 months? If you don't do it well, some want to add formula and all that. And they dilute the formula. So in that way, the child is not properly fed and the child might be underweight. After so you do time I did complementary feeding, bana. The Cerelac, cereals, other cereals, they over dilute. Some may over dilute it because of maybe cost issues or whatever. And that can also cause a child to be underweight. And then sometimes about infections, also chronic infections. So about because of chronic infections it can affect absorption, it affects your metabolism, you know, a whole lot of things. So
underweight penyifo na so mo afa mojadro sa ntumi nya kese na eno ne nka se sa na de won to nja mojadro ne fa
nya ne kwan so ne mojadro because I see ehwe bi also ayare bi na wo ho o thyroid timi hyperactive and no say tuberculosis, HIV, nyama bebre etime ma yes my enhwehwe na yenhu na fe afa
doc obeka say na doctor you see the as only Ghana ha me person me fine girl na menya anapache no menya sika no de ya menwoma say menja mojadro no menja we and then who here say why is it important for us to try and stay within our normal optimal weight range?
Because
what are the consequences of ignoring your advice?
A lot of negative consequences can affect us. First of all, it's about our immunity. So we are underweight, your immune response and your good cry until you infections. Just like
Kofana or some do the same thing.
And also low chronic inflammation, low grade chronic inflammation. And also
immunity.
Yare banti yare na de kasiya na ye bebre. For hypertension, you know, cholesterol levels going up, diabetes, even asthma, even breathing problems.
Cancer earlier be.
And also because a healthy diet prevent it to a large extent. Yes.
But to be a case no just obenya cancer.
It could be linked because of estrogens, you know, in the fat cells. Estrogens are stored. So high levels of estrogen is also known to be associated with cancer. But I wouldn't say it's not a causal factor. Associated, yes.
No, but you kete dodo a. Apart from immunity, na de foforo bi wo so ho no mo ase wan hwe yam balance a. Eno so be ha na or you too underweight na adult or underweight na. Apart from their low immune system no, are they under other consequences of being underweight as an adult?
Nutrient levels so low. So optimally, why a weak fatigue, na affect omadisua so. Because all your underweight, other nutrients are also low. Iron levels, you know, all those iodine needed for brain development are there, making you sharp. In addition to me affected, then it's going to affect your incomes later in life, and therefore you cannot contribute to national development as we all expect. Until in the end, the nation suffers.
We all suffer.
Yes,
we all suffer. Doc, where they want to tough mama in terms of how you help people who are not in their normal or their normal body weight range, in a very brief summarized form, because I know it's very comprehensive.
Yeah.
It's very comprehensive.
Of course, an assessment has to be done. If you are overweight, we advise physical activity. Stress levels have to be managed. More screen time, we have to reduce it. Then in terms of the diet, an adult, you put on a low calorie diet, and behavior changes so here. Because it starts with the mind. You need to have an expectation why you want to lose the weight and all that. So the role of the nutritionist is to put you in focus, help you to be solving problems, the challenges that come as you change behavior to achieve your goal.
Doc, is there any take-home message for us?
Take-home message, I will focus on the fact that the woman of childbearing age, we should pay particular attention to these people because
childbearing age,
between 15 to 49 years, because through the pregnancy, so when the year. And even before pregnancy, when the year, about 4 no, and also ni weight and now we know the consequences in terms of immunity, in terms of low earnings, and therefore affecting national development. So let's pay particular attention to that, and let's all be active, physically active. Let's try and have some rest and manage stress very well. These days, we want to stay up working all night, it's affecting us. So watch that and also be mindful of our diet. Let it be healthy, variety in it, your fruits and vegetables, cutting back on the oils, in fact, the saturated fats in particular, and eating well, but also calories control to help us achieve that optimal weight.
Dr. Isiado, I try a dear. After more, send nutrition here. But nutrition say, ya tia say, and yet for fashion, and yet trend, and one can swap within tia, and they say, wait, no, I was arranging. When you're sure, send out the NSA tia. Tell a doctor, Mutu said, Dr. Isiado, no, nutrition is for baby. See, I dear, Thank you so much, Doc, for joining us. You've taught us so much today. We are grateful. We'll be right back.
So that mom can be able to open the door.
Now you can be part of the extraordinary world of endless possibilities on Vodafone. With the best value and amazing data offers and services available in Ghana, your dreams are achievable. Get more for less with Vodafone data. Vodafone, further together.
Elisha is currently awaiting surgery, and I'm sure that it will go well. Hi, this week we are focusing on our legs. Your baba said your nine will be ding. Sometimes when I take a car, now you said they were brain. Would soon like to see honey high up and now 9 in area. And your baba build and 9 with a car. So let's start with the jumping squats. When you're done with the jumping squats, you just come to this angle. Just say them baba yam and 9. Open it slightly. Come on, Koichi. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anytime you come up, make sure it's a bit squeezy or bumble. 6, 7, 8. 2 more. Last one. But hold it. Man, sorry, you know why? Hold it. Count 1 to 10. So on my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gently come up. Next one. If I go on our sides, just say them about BM9. They the same thing. So here you go. One. Where you wait, where I say. 2, 3. 2 more. 4. Last one. 5. Now on the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now when you're done, just come to this position and then you stand. By this time, you're about to freak a crazy account. What's me, no problem. Just stand. So, yeah, so it's still here, upper body. The time is up now. Make sure you practice this at home. See you on the next episode.
Today in This Week in Medicine, we talk about 3D technology and its application in medicine. 3D technology has many functions in various industries across. In the medical field, the main applications include to speed up surgical procedures, like orthodontic procedures, where we try to correct teeth placement deformities. First, we used to use the braces, but now we have 3D technology being used to create implants that quickly resolve these issues. It helps produce cheaper versions of surgical tools. It helps in the production of prosthetic limbs and dentures. Following an amputation or a loss of limb or any birth defect, this can help to get a prosthesis that can be helpful. It's also used in the production of 3D radiological images that help surgeons and intervention radiologists to plan interventions. 3D printing, otherwise known as additive manufacturing, was first developed in the 1980s. It involves taking a digital model or a blueprint of the subject. This is then printed in successive layers using appropriate material so as to create an identical version of the subject. Often, medical imaging techniques such as X-rays, CT scans, MRIs, and ultrasound can be used to produce this digital blueprint that we need. This is subsequently fed into a 3D printer and the organ to be produced is produced. Given the high demand for organ transplantation, coupled with the limited organ donors, bioprinting is a potential technology that could solve this crisis of organ shortage by the fabrication of fully functional whole organs. Indeed, organ bioprinting is a far-fetched goal, but there has been considerable and commendable progress in the field of bioprinting that can be used as transplantable tissues in the field of regenerative medicine. Thanks to this technology, many people's quality of lives, as well as the effectiveness of healthcare delivery, has improved over the years. You know, American there, science, technology, or what be a tomb, or try to be infoni, or transfonina, no wash, what pay materials and a yamo butumoda yards, no I never pay. Na na night, wo use war medicine, wo use war healthcare. Chede, what too much obiness, nenum, no wash, no why a sin beaman, what can insert, what can instant morte, no why and send beaman, ma wa fata. Na additional conium, yes, who there, that should be na in ye organs no ye moon, you put to me the same technology. Ye die organs ni bi na ho no here kidney na ho no here akoma na ho no here liver we nya bi no we use ma obia no ho ato. This is all we have for this week in medicine.
Welcome back to Jewels in the Kitchen with me, Frema. And ye can Jane who has some onions. Yes. Which are Jenny and Neko when you and your him. I mentioned dainty a yamau. And you when you some number can. But dainty a Jenny yamau. Jenny anti-inflammatory. Make a jump. Oh, anti-inflammatory. Chese se kobi wo mua. E boa ma body need to meet a cook chrono. Jenny ewo antioxidants into chese ma apomudin pa ma nyinche. Jane so antibacterial and which say boost the immune system. Jane so to say garlic na me ka last time no e boa kuma ne pa into BP management sanyo mani na Jane boa. Jane actually so boa with sugar control. Into why not? It's a win-win. Into a coming kwa for the sake of your gut as well. Nka obu di Jane beka waduane. And you not be so much afraid to cut those onions in the kitchen. And I'm what?
Jane no one doesn't have the same effect.
Similar. Similar. The pungent nature of the onions, any garlic, the things that give the antioxidants, they are the things that give the heart protecting properties. And the gut health nadia is not dependent on whether it's cooked or not. Right. Because fibers, no onions, no. Because something probiotics. They are these little good germs that stay in our guts. They give us, they boost our immune system, give us a lot of protection. And these days, it's going even towards sleep, weight loss, and all that. A lot of research is going in there. Jane feedi omo, garlic feedi omo, cabbages feedi omo. Jane no no. In the nutrition realms, you call them prebiotics. But that's for another day. That's for another day. I can imagine. I want to comment on Elisha's thing today. I remember having to explain to some of my cancer patients who came with these kind of tubes what kind of combinations they have to do, because in Ghana you need these pureed fruits. You know, in other parts of the world, you cry one in the form of like milk in your may. Or my that they will better powder no now much your heart. Let's say like yeah, now no worries. When you're afraid of blocking the tube and I say, but Ghana hano. Yes, you start your and if fiber ni be won't fine. Or best so on to me, must be a young fufu. Or by young fufu, there are two tubes. Uncle cake. But the thing is, the tube bunanka so many to akwalani and so.
Exactly.
So you have to teach them just how smooth and the consistency. Mother be or wabeka chene say, oh, for the sake of obano nutrition, into men find so enye light no. Make sure you always have light soup like a vegetable broth. So see whenever no light in adeno, especially when you're making savory stuff on tiase. For milk, liquid milk, a light in on tiase. Not the so
flashy.
Not the flashing no po.
Like making the food liquid enough.
Not that. You flash before and flash after to prevent blockage. I'm talking about when they make the food, you know. In order to get
the food.
High density nutrients in there, no. You don't
use water.
You don't use water. It's not good to use water to make it light enough.
Dilute.
A bit dilute ya. So they'll say, oh, me feeding no for bakwalande fun. Exactly. So I can imagine what they are going through, trying to keep up his nutrition. So maybe then that's where that is a big headache. It's a big headache.
I mean, for me, I want to just make sure that no one is confused. Salt and Coke is helpful.
It's helpful. We agree.
It does not resolve.
We agree to disagree.
We have to agree because everybody is looking at us, so we have to agree. If you don't agree, we have to agree.
Yeah,
we agree that it doesn't cure. Okay, we agree that it doesn't cure diarrhea.
It doesn't cure diarrhea.
Good.
But it helps.
All right.
To rehydrate.
Okay.
And if you have a diarrhea, if you have a child who has a diarrhea, instead of waiting to buy ORS the next morning, if you have Coke, if you have some salt,
and tea bread,
mix it a little bit. That's what the tea bread. If the child will take it, you could give the child. The thing is about diarrhea is that you don't want to get to the dehydration state. Okay. Once you get to that dehydration state, then you have to battle and struggle to come up. So if it is within your reach, you get the Coke, you have the use it. It won't stop it, but it will help you to remain rehydrated. And like Abba said, most diarrhea is self-limiting. So do not take the anti-peristaltic medications when you have it. I'm telling you the ones that will stop the diarrhea, don't take them when you have the diarrhea because they worsen it. You have a rebound effect. That's what I want to see. Diarrhea and the man. Thank you.
All right. And yeah, yes, you are number baby. Abba Busan probiotics can nutrition maintain. You be trust. Now next week we be brave. We catch on the season waiting. Head back. We'll see you again next week. It's bye for now and stay healthy.
Vodafone, further together.